morning coffee edition of Free Ballers. By the time you hear this, you'll probably be on dinner time. But, whatever. We'll still imagine that you're here with us in spirit.
It's John, Alex, and our morning Joe.
John and Alex in the morning.
Turn it on and rip the knob off.
Well, being that I am a benevolent and merciful producer, I feel like it's only fair that I think we need a little drum roll, and then I think we need to clear out ISO, John, and just say it with your chest. Just speak what you're feeling about Game 3.
The motherfucking Heat are gonna lose this series in 6 games. The Celtics are the motherfucking balls, all right? No one sweeps the motherfucking Celtics, all right? How many more 20-point scorers do we need? Is 4 enough for y'all? I guess not, okay? Does Gordon Hayward need to get paid $32 million to score 6 points a game to get us to a win? You goddamn right he does, all right? It's worth every goddamn cent, all right? We're gonna drown the Heat in the goddamn Charles River, where all the dumb duck boats are, and y'all thought for the briefest of moments that you were gonna just run away with this shit. Y'all had so much confidence, but now you're up 2-1, and you're just feeling scared as hell.
In support of the Celtics, no heat whatsoever being used at Wahlburgers right now. Just everything is just raw,
just cold as hell. They're very they take this very seriously.
Who's going to win it? The Celtics. Because there's no other reason why. The Celtics are the balls.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
No, but on a side note, y'all fucking suck. No. But
Brad Stevens about to turn Duncan Robinson into like an all defensive team defender, like by the end of the series, because they're like targeting his ass.
It's that guy. Look, I think that okay. I can almost see the case for that terrible flagrant call that Jalen got, but I think just a simple offensive foul would have been fine. I don't think he meant to really slam. I think he's smarter than to know that he shouldn't at the end of the game like get a flagrant foul against Duncan Robinson, with the ref standing right there. I don't think he did that on purpose.
The refs were pissing me off throughout the whole game, as I'm sure they were probably pissing off Boston people as well. And I feel like that call was a makeup call for like stupid shit they had already did, But, again, though, I'm still glad that it didn't, like we said last time, I don't think it affected like the outcome of the game, like at the very end. From a Heat point of view, he bashed Dragic in the face, but like I said, I think they gave him the flagrant because he got bashed so many times in the face previously. Some of which were his fault.
Hold on. So he bashed Robinson in the face.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying Goran took some shots to the face too.
So they were making up for the Dragic hits earlier.
I think so.
Okay.
But Heat point of view, I think that they shot horrible from 3, and they missed. I think it was something like let me get it here just to not be stupid. They had 11 more uncontested field goal attempts than the Celtics, so they had 11 more like wide open shots. But they only made one more open shot than the Celtics, and they shot 34. They shot 34% on wide open, nobody around shots. So
really?
If they just shot their season average for 3, we're talking about a different game. You know what I mean? So
if Duncan Robinson makes both of those 2 free throws, that's a slightly different game too. Because
you're right.
It was 109-101 when that happened. So if he makes both of those, it's a 6-point game. So basically 2 possessions, right? Yeah. So so I'm sitting there like,
no religion.
That's you're mainly quoting Forrest Gump, but I know it's a Beatles song.
For sure. I only quote Forrest Gump.
No religion.
No religion.
No possessions too.
That's like Heat assistant coach in the last couple minutes. Like, no possessions. Oh, fuck.
Oh, damn. No,
interview Duncan Robinson after the game. He's like, I got shot in the buttocks.
They interview
because he's a sniper. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it. No, it's just like I haven't heard Forrest Gump lines in so long.
Anyways,
I believe he said he had to go pee.
Well, I'd like to see that. Boy.
Another great win where no lead felt safe. I mean, they got to as much as I think 20 at some point.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though? But it's like you know it's not going to stay that
the
way.
whole game. I didn't care. I was like, this is not. I said more. Like this is not enough. Like I want more. Like with in the Matrix 2 when the fucking Agent Smith keeps bringing more and more agents out. I'm like, no, not enough. Just more. Just drown them in points. I don't care.
True. Yeah. Can't let up.
Jimmy,
I noticed they were hunting Duncan a lot, and in the first half they were hunting him, and it worked.
As in ISO situations.
Yes, they were picking on him.
No, they should.
Perfect strategy. They also adapted to the zone. They were putting, like you're supposed to do. They were putting someone at the free throw line area,
right in the middle of it,
to bust it, and that worked as well. I will say that they must have talked to him in halftime or something and realized, like, hey, bro, you're getting picked on. But Duncan Robinson's defense, like in the third quarter, I've never seen him play that good of defense in my life.
Yeah, you're right. They called him out.
It may have propelled him. This might be good for him. But that being said, it was too late at that point. You know what I mean? The damage had been done.
But someone like him, like it almost, I mean, he can play as great a defense as he wants, but Marcus Smart's going to back him down. Like that's one of that's a play specifically I thought of when he had him in the post. I was like, wow, Marcus Smart doesn't do ISO posts like ever. But if you got Duncan Robinson, go at him and then try to draw fouls, right? And then get him out of the game. So that's the goal.
He's going to have to.
That's the main guy they're targeting.
Yes. Yeah. He's going to have to fight against that all series because that's his biggest thing is staying on the floor. He can shoot to stay on the floor, but
or if the Heat can find a way to get to double and get him off of somebody or something, or just try and switch somehow, just to avoid him getting mismatches. But I don't even know who if you have to tell Duncan Robinson to guard somebody, like if you're strategizing, who do you tell him to guard?
Yeah, I know. His by default matchup is a nightmare. It's like Jaylen Brown, I believe.
Yeah, and Jaylen Brown will. I mean,
not going to work.
Yeah, he's going to eat his lunch. So
one thing I'll say about Duncan is in the second half he put in a better defensive effort, and besides that, you need him to do that every time. But besides that, he's 6'8", which is easy to sleep on.
He doesn't look 6'8".
Yeah, exactly. So he can. In some situations, he can remember that he's 6'8" and use that to his advantage.
His height should be a thing. Yeah, I mean when he bodied up Jaylen Brown and fouled him first, basically, that's why Jaylen Brown. I mean, I was telling you yesterday. I didn't realize we're all over the place, by the way. I didn't realize that like the rip through is like a legal move technically.
Yeah, it's like an identified move. Yeah.
So it's like a legal. It's not like in the rule book, but the refs see it as you're allowed to pull the ball around your head, I guess, right? And so if you get incidental contact from that, it's kind of the defender's fault for being too close, I guess.
Yeah,
that sounds kind of like BS to me, but
I remember like KD was doing it a lot. And then the following season, they had like rules around it. And I believe if you see someone do a rip through, you'll see the ref do a rip through motion. And all that
really
means, all that means is because it was a rip through, you ain't getting a shooting foul. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because you initiated that yourself, that contact. So, but if you get fouled on a rip through move, it's still a foul, but you'll get the ball side out of bounds. You know what I mean?
Unless you're in the penalty.
Yeah, unless you're in the bonus. But that's my understanding of it. That like, they were tired of seeing guys get to the line with the rip through move. So now they call it out. Like the ref will do this funny looking rip through motion, and then it's side out of bounds.
Interesting. Okay.
What were you going to say about Jimmy though?
He seemed quiet during the game. He was still effective in doing things like when he had some baskets that I was like, God damn, how did he fucking score there? But there seems to be a point where I think he's the point getter on the team, essentially. Like if the team is having troubles, he has to be the guy who decides to like turn off the defense and just just focus on getting points.
For sure, especially in the fourth.
He did not do that this game. I think maybe Spo may have a talk with him and say, look, this is you're the most talented player on the team offensively. So I'm sure he's told him this before, and I'm sure he knows, but like he needs to be more aggressive and take control.
Yeah,
I mean, he had some unstoppable like moves where he just like they were putting smart on him and he just went right by. And I was like, damn, man, he can do that anytime at any moment.
Yeah, I think something was going on with him. I think he might be playing through a number of like nagging injuries, but they're not the type of injuries where he can't ball the fuck out. Obviously,
no, he looked fine.
So I think maybe this rest will do him good. Like there was actually when the Heat were still in the game in one of the final plays, and they benched him. And when they asked Spo why did he do that, he said there's no injury, like no reason to panic, that they just wanted to get something really fast. You know what I mean? And Jimmy is not like, he's not Duncan Robinson for three. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. I didn't even notice they benched him. Yeah. But I would have said the same thing. Like why bench your best player basically?
Yeah. Both Jimmy and Iguodala had played an oddly low amount of minutes in the second half. And I believe Iguodala, it's been the last two games, he's had back problems where like after halftime, his back stiffens up. Like he can't get loose again. And I think it's just from being old, you know what I mean? But we definitely need him because he adds to the defense. And also like I was talking about last episode with just ball handling. Like it's really nice, as you saw with Gordon Hayward in the last game, to have a guy you can trust hold the ball, like in addition to your main guys.
Sure, of course.
But yeah, I think we'll see some more Iguodala and some more Jimmy in the fourth quarter. In game 4 is my opinion.
If that should be their adjustment. Speaking of Hayward, comes in, score. I think he literally had like 6, 5, and 4. I think was his stat line.
Prototypical Hayward game. Like if you double those minutes, he's got like crystal light LeBron numbers.
Yeah, he's like 15, 10, and 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's but. It's the stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet for him. It's his ability to break down the zone. It's his ability to handle the ball. He's just another body on the floor. He's a guy who has a reputation and he's on the floor. Like, he can put the ball down and score. He can shoot. So he spreads the defense out. So just having him out there, apparently, I don't know if it was the entire key to the game. I'm sure the Celtics did other things, but man, it was invaluable. Absolutely invaluable.
Yeah, to use a Spo quote, he always used to talk about Chris Bosh as being like a pressure release valve, like that when it seemed during the Big Three era when it seemed like we couldn't buy a bucket, you know what I mean, or just we're in a real mucky, just fucking muddy portion of the game. Chris Bosh, like 18-foot jumper, always money, you know what I mean, like always money. And that takes pressure off the other guys. And I feel like Hayward acted as the same thing. He was like a pressure release valve for the Celtics, but not necessarily with just scoring, But just think about it. Like if let's say the shot clock dwindled down, you had a little trouble getting it past half court or something. And now all of a sudden there's only like 7 seconds left. And instead of fucking Semi Ojeleye has the ball in their hands,
right? Yeah,
Gordon Hayward has the ball in their hands, and that feels so much better,
Yeah, he can
whether
handle
he scores or not. He's going to make a good decision.
He makes good decisions. He's defense is suspect, but he makes good decisions and with the ball. He had that nice little pass to Tice. He pump faked a 3 and then stepped back and then swished it. And I was like, oh damn, man, that's vintage Gordon Hayward right there. That's leading the Utah Jazz in scoring, Gordon Hayward. So I'd hate he might be like the little X factor here that takes the series over. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
I think like cocky Heat fan of me wants to say that that's probably the best that the Celtics can play. And we like withstood the storm. Like obviously we lost, but it wasn't like, we didn't let the blowout just be the end of it. Like they fought back into the game. But I will say that if there's something I can expect from the Celtics in like to improve from this game, it would be that. It would be that Gordon Hayward, he's only going to get more comfortable and his minutes are going to go up. So they're going to have to think about what he does to the team. As far as defensively, the Heat are going to have to think about like, which I'm sure they already have, of just like how he impacts the game.
I mean, you essentially, I know I hate to brag, but you guys have there's 4 All-Stars now you have to worry about scoring. I mean, Tatum's a first-time All-Star and now an All-NBA guy. Jalen's technically never been there, but he basically is an All-Star. He was the leading scorer in the last game. Hayward we know, and Kemba we know. So I mean, any one of those guys can score at will and take over a game. So it becomes it's a little daunting, I would think.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I think before the trade that the Heat made, they had a hard time handling that, and you can see it exemplified in the regular season games where the Celtics just beat us every time. The trade that they made, though, gives them enough wing defenders, I feel, that they can fight with that a little bit. Like you got those 4 guys, and then they're not 4 All-Stars, there's 2 All-Stars, but Bam and Jimmy, along with Crowder and Iguodala, and then a splash of Derrick Jones Jr., I feel are the guys who can stop those 4 guys. You know what I mean? The only one of those 4 that I feel presents a problem for the group I just mentioned is Kemba, because of his speed and like just literal tininess. Like he physically is different. So like that's where you might that's why I think Kendrick Nunn keeps getting play from Spo, even though he's not at his best right now.
He's in there only to guard Kemba Walker.
I think he it's a little bit of relief for Dragic, where Kendrick Nunn physically matches up better with Kemba.
He's like, younger too.
Yeah, he might not be a good defender. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Kendrick Nunn has a lot to work on with his defense, but he at least, we just don't have a lot of options, really, to be honest, to throw at a point guard like Kemba. But so I'm hoping, if Iguodala can contribute more with this back issue, that will be the thing that will offset, like, more Gordon Hayward. It's like, okay, we'll have more Iguodala. Like whoever he decides, whoever Spo puts him on. Like, I feel like those 4 guys are interchangeable. When it comes down to like, now we got to really get a stop for real, like fourth quarter, I'm putting Jimmy on Kemba and I'm putting Bam on Tatum. And then I'm having those other 2 guys out there freelance.
Interesting. Yeah. That's the adjustments are fun. I have to admit, I finally saw Marcus Smart. I don't know if it was accidental or if it just kind of happened this way, but actually Marcus Smart guarding Jimmy. And I thought that was, I don't know if it was done on purpose, but I kind of thought that was going to be the original, obvious matchup. I mean, put your best defender on their best player. Yeah, just limit what he can do on the court at all costs, really. And then that kind of it has a trickle down effect basically for the other Heat players, right? So but a negative trickle down effect, right? If Jimmy is off, if Jimmy's not only not scoring but also not facilitating, then the rest of the guys are out of sync as well, right? Someone like Tyler Herro, he's 19. He kind of needs like a basketball daddy on the court, and that's what Jimmy Butler is. Yeah, He, by the way, a side note, he is playing, for someone who's 19, is playing great. I mean, he had
amazing, dude.
He had an almost triple double in the first game. I never really watched him this season, but he had an almost triple double in the first game. He's doing like grown up types things out there. So
yeah. He slowly went from okay. Well, first of all, he's 20. He's turned 20 this year.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But that, I mean, big deal. I mean, he still can't.
Still young.
Yeah. But like, he probably would be super heavy deep into preparing for his second season at this point. You know what I mean? So we're talking about a rookie. Same thing with like Grant Williams and shit. These guys are getting
it's a weird,
unimaginable rookie seasons. Yeah, like I think what's gonna happen though is these dudes are gonna avoid like the quote unquote sophomore slump or whatever, because they've had to play through it basically. Like their first year ain't even over yet. And Hero being 20 years old to basically like in that last game, it would be easier to talk about the minutes where he was not in the game. Like that's how few minutes there were where he sat, and for Spo to have that level of trust in a 20-year-old that he's going to play like fucking 40 minutes is unbelievable. I didn't even think that he would be at the level that he's at currently.
His youth comes into play there too. Obviously, like you need a body on the floor, so you might as well go with the youngest guy in the team. So, but he's still. I mean, for someone his age, for being 20 and in the Eastern Conference Finals, any of these rookies this year, you're right, dealing with basically a pandemic for the first time for their first season. It's pretty weird, and so anybody that's playing decent basketball out there as a rookie is you got to give these guys credit.
Win or loss, that's probably my favorite thing that's happening, and my favorite thing to watch is like 20-year-old Tyler Hero out there learning every day. Watching him figure out how to score on like Marcus Smart is amazing. Because it's like, bro, 2 years ago you were trying to figure out who to take to the prom, and like now you're trying to figure out how to get by Marcus Smart, or like when Hayward came in. They were matched up, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! This is perfect," because like Hayward could definitely shut him down. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, but Hayward's coming off an injury. He might not be at the level that he normally is at.
Still sore.
Then, Tyler Hero is getting better every second, so you don't know like what his ceiling is as far as him versus Gordon Hayward. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was really fun to watch because I felt like is enough of a challenge for him, that it's challenging, but he can succeed, So like anytime he scored on Hayward, I was just like, wow, like this is my son growing up.
Big time. It's big time. Yeah. No, it's Hairball. So, did you notice more? I noticed there are a lot more leak outs here for the Celtics. One of them was, the play where Jaylen Brown basically just kind of stole it from Jay Crowder. He was kind of hounding him up the whole way up the court, and then he went to make a pass and just took the pass away from him.
Yep.
There was a particular play where Jason Tatum happened to run out after Gordon Hayward literally just got in the path of the ball, stole it, and then just yeeted it right out to the other side of the court. So I think that was another game plan, was get quick, easy points for the Celtics. I don't know if maybe that's a way of negating the zone, basically. Like if
that's a good point. So get out on the break, they don't have time to set the zone up.
No time for zones at all. So at some point I even saw they had gotten a defensive stop, I think, and you could see Stevens on the sideline, like, and I was doing it like at home watching the game, like go, like go, like push the damn ball, get it up the court as quick as you can. Get it going. Get a shot going to the basket immediately. If you get fouled, whatever. If you don't, at least you got a shot attempt. So that's most important, because I think the zone was taking away like shot attempts just in general. So if you're if you're not getting something going towards the basket, then you're not gonna have a chance to win. So
another thing is speaking of shot attempts, the Celtics had some sloppy turnovers like in the last game. And this in game 3, it seemed like they took care of the ball better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which that is like a no-brainer adjustment,
That's what you teach when a team is having effective zone defense. Crisp passing, like make sure the ball has no chance of getting into the other team's hands at all, right? You're right. I saw a lot of Tice will be at the top of the key. He kind of holds it, but he doesn't like pass it. He lets the guy come right up to him, grab the ball, and then he just kind of goes off. It's just taking care of the ball. Yeah, super important with a very effective zone defense.
Yeah. Like you were saying, I just looked at the numbers just to see if they corroborate the story, and they do. The Celtics had 72 field goal attempts in game 2. And in game 3, they had something like 89, I want to say. That's a lot more.
Yeah, the more attempts, the more chance you have of making them. So it's simple. Yeah. It's simple math, and it's
72 in game 2, 85 in game 3. So taking care of the ball and running those fast breaks, that made the Heat have a harder time getting that zone to work.
For sure. There was still, but the key is weathering the comeback, basically, right? Because the comeback, it's going to happen, right? If it's a weird, like the universe seemed to just be making it happen no matter what. This, like a flagrant foul at the end of the game, flagrant fouls happen, guys get mad, it's whatever, but it's just like, Stevens had to have been hanging his head. Like, why would you do that now? Like, you're up 8, let's just close it out. And then Marcus Smart decided to not dribble the ball out. He saw like sort of an open layup and got bailed out because somebody fouled him. By the way, he had the last 10 points of the game, which I thought was pretty clutch, and not a lot of people were mentioning. But it was all free throws, but he still had the last 10 points of the game. And he's not the greatest free throw shooter, but he will, I guess that's the situation where he would shine, I guess. So, the key is just weathering the comeback. I feel like they've proven in the first 3 games they can easily put a lead out. I mean, they can just start drowning the Heat with their talent level and their abilities to shoot and everything. But the comeback happens, and so they have to just play smart, crisp passing, and it's a doable. It's a winnable series still. So
yeah. Even though Jaylen Brown is my favorite Celtic player, I think if there was one Celtic player who would be a great Heat player, it would be Marcus
Jaylen Brown. Marcus Smart.
Yeah. Even though I like Jaylen Brown more, I feel like Marcus Smart is a very Heat type dude, because he's just like he does shit that he shouldn't even be doing because on just pure heart, just working hard as fuck. He's definitely a force. Like, even like that first game, he was hitting all those threes. He doesn't have to hit all those threes to be like a fucking pest in the game.
No.
But yeah, in more important news, there's a trashy reality show called Married at First Sight. And the current season features this dude, Henry Rodriguez. And this man looks like Brad Stevens, and he looks so much like Brad Stevens that I can't stop thinking about it. Like, when I see it, he looks like Brad Stevens. It's nuts. Like, and the thing is like, you might see him and be like, okay, I can clearly see the difference between him and Brad Stevens, but just watch the show for like 5 minutes. And there's no real Brad Stevens around, this man becomes Brad Stevens, like, before your eyes. And he acts like Brad Stevens, I imagine, would act. So, yeah, just want to put that out there.
Kind of a square.
Yeah, and Married at First Sight is a ridiculous fucking show too. It's people who agree to essentially arrange marriages.
Oh, wait a minute! I've seen this show. It's I was. Oh my god, I was briefly seeing this girl, and so she like watches this show, and it's okay. Is this the show that has like it's sort of like a really overweight like white lady, and then like this little guy from like an African country, I think. One of the African countries, maybe it was definitely about.
You're talking about 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, never mind. You're right. I am talking about 90 Day Fiance.
No, see that show is like just higher level of.
Is it?
That's another tier up. I would say Married at First Sight is more like entry level. You know what I mean? And like 90 Day Fiance is like refined excellence.
This is a new side to you. I didn't know you knew about all these trashy TLC reality shows.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta have a trashy reality outlet when real reality is so trashy.
That's actually a great point. Yeah, I've been too much in my bag just watching like stuff that's good, but I really should watch something that's bad just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, just for so many giggles. Like I highly recommend both of these shows, but really 90 Day Fiance. 90 Day Fiance, that's the one you're thinking of. They're very similar, so it doesn't surprise me. 90 Day Fiance is when they marry someone from another country.
Yeah, to get them a visa, basically.
Yeah, and they have 90 days to get married, basically, and they may in some cases it's the first personal, like physical time they've ever had together.
Sure.
So like that shit's interesting. And I mean, even no matter what these shows are, like the types of people that go on these shows are it's out of control. So that alone is worth it.
I was cringing so hard watching this. I'm like, I just can't get through this. This is like every like interaction and all the way the camera plays. Like I can see what the producers are trying to do. And I'm just like, oh, I get it. Like they're basically making fun of these people. And I was like, oh man, leave them alone. Like one of the guys, there was one guy from like some Eastern European country, and he was with some woman in the Midwest, and
and I know exactly the season you're talking about.
He was fucking like head over heels for this woman, and I was like, bro, come on, you could probably do better in your own country than that woman. Come on, man.
Yeah, they're weird, odd couples. I find myself watching it the same way that I used to watch wrestling as a little boy.
Right? Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, where you already know you know what you're in for, but you still watch it anyways, and like you can't look away.
They are fun to quote. I mean, Ric Flair. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that scream. You might not like it, but you better love it.
Well, yeah. Current season, Married at First Sight. I believe it's the current season. Brad Stevens is on there. give it a look, everybody.
Okay, I'm assuming I'll know immediately which one is Brad Stevens. So.
You will, yeah. And like I said, you might need to watch him a little bit, because he'll grow into it as you watch him. It's pretty fucking fun.
He does every now and then make some faces on the court, and somebody will just take a quick screenshot, and then he just gets overused in like Celtics Twitter memes like all over the place. So I mean, he will he can get mad. I mean, he gets salty with the refs. So yeah, he's got some emotion in there.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
the Celtics turnovers were actually pretty consistent in both games.
You mean games 1 and 2?
Yeah, they had 6 or games 2 and 3. They had 6 less though. They had 6 less turnovers in game 3.
But those can make all the difference.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at that though. I thought it was going to be a bigger disparity, but they still with the fast break and shit, they still had like fucking more than 15 additional shots that they took. You know, so they played at a faster pace for sure, and they did take care of the ball better, albeit not as much as I thought, but still slightly better.
It's the simple. There's like a set of like unwritten rules in basketball on how to win a game, right? And every coach kind of knows them, right? Even the worst coach in the league kind of understands. Like you don't turn the ball over. Crisp passing, making shots. But if you're not making shots, at least get to the basket. If you're having trouble scoring, try to get free throws I heard that plenty of times during this last game, to stop the bleeding, right? Like if the other team's making a comeback and you're having a hard time stopping it, get to the free throw line. There's a lot of like unwritten rules that like, you get kind of in those first 2 games, you let your emotions get away because you're like, damn man, how did they beat us 2 games in a row? We're the higher ranked team and everything. And of course you saw that bubble up with Marcus Smart in the locker room afterwards of game 2.
Yeah.
But it basically, I mean, Stevens didn't reinvent the wheel. Like he just, they're playing a really effective zone against us. We're having trouble with their zone. So we put a guy at the top of the key, and then we make crisp passing. We try to get shots at the basket. We, do what we can. We be aggressive, try to draw fouls, and that's it. That's how we'll weather the storm. So it's simple stuff, really.
Yeah, essentially Magic Johnson's Twitter account, just straight up and down.
Oh my God, his Twitter account is gold. The Celtics play much better in Game 3 because that's how they got the victory.
The team that scores more points is gonna win.
Oh, he kills me, and he has not stopped doing this too. Like there's no like emotional analysis. It's all just it's just like straight facts. Like I watched the game, Magic. I didn't need to turn to your Twitter to get like that update. I could just check the score.
One thing I noticed about the game that I'm thinking about that I hope changes for the Heat's sake is the way the Celtics play defense. They kind of created a scenario for the Heat where like Bam needed to make the best use of his matchup, like there's not really a lot of answers on the Celtics side for an aggressive Bam. Like if he starts getting aggressive in the paint,
right.
Because he's like in a rare situation for him, he's slightly bigger than Tice. Bam's usually like the smaller guy, but he actually has a guy he's bigger than. So, but what the situation this created though was not necessarily good for the Heat because Bam had 27 points. He was fucking 10 for 14. It was amazing. He had 16 rebounds, 2 blocks, 3 steals, but he had 1 assist. And that's very un-Bam like.
He's not facilitating like he normally does. Yeah.
And not only, I mean, I love to see him be aggressive and score all those points and shit, but the whole team operates on like he's almost like another point guard on the team. It's weird for him not to be like either leading or second, like in assists in a game.
Yeah.
So for him to have 1 assist and 3 turnovers, that's not Bam's style of play. So he needs to get back to like what he does best.
It's a weird the exact opposite was true when Horford was the center. Like he came here from Atlanta and we paid a lot of money for him, right? And everybody, a lot of the average low energy Celtics fans were just like, oh, average Al. He's not scoring. Look at that amazing stat line. I'm like, y'all don't understand what he brings. I mean, his defense, his IQ is what we're paying for there. Like that's what Danny Ainge understands. We don't need him to score. Like he's not there for scoring. We had Kyrie at the time. Jalen and Jason are developing. He's not there for scoring. He's there for interior defense. I mean, he stopped Embiid so many times. It's not even funny. So yeah, no, you're right. It's great to see him score, but I think, but you're right. That's not his strong point. He can do that at any time though on the Celtics. I mean, he's taller than Tice and Tice is their best defense.
He went 10 for 14 and so it's kind of hard to tell him. I don't know if he needs to stop doing that, but to put it in perspective, Jay Crowder went 2 for 10 for 3 and like Tyler Hero took 18 shots. I like that those guys were being aggressive, but I would crank down those possessions a little bit. I would take a little bit from them and give Bam. He might need like even more of a load, which is asking a lot out of him. But if he's 10 for 14, scoring 27 points, great. But I think we still need to give him a chance to facilitate the offense on more possessions, basically.
And this is the true advantage of building a big lead on the Heat because they have to do all this stuff that's out of their wheelhouse to just make a comeback, right?
Yeah.
Bam having to score a lot of points. Like you said, there's other guys having to be more aggressive with their scoring. I mentioned earlier, Jimmy seemed a little out of sorts. He probably had an effective game anyways. Plus minus is probably good, which I'm sure you might have in front of you already. But when you build that big lead, which is why I was sort of like, I thought Brad may say something like, maybe don't focus on building a big lead. Just focus on playing crisp, clean basketball every single time you have it. Don't worry about, if you miss a shot, whatever, get back on defense, but don't worry about building a major lead. But he still was like, okay, look, we're good at that. He leaned into it. Like in games 1 and 2, we built a big lead and then lost it. But in game 3, we built a big lead and just kind of kept it and kind of hung in there in the fourth quarter, basically. So, and I think, that's the advantage to that is keeping the Heat out of sorts, essentially. So this is all, I mean, there is after game 2, I was sort of like, okay, the strategy for the Celtics should be clear. And strategy for the Heat should be clear as well. But after this game, I don't know how any team, what they're going to do. It's a mess. It's all up in the air. I don't know what any team is going to decide to do for game 4.
Yeah, we're starting to get into like big brain territory.
It really is. Yeah.
Stevens and Spoelstra are just like, like they're just fucking trying to think of the next little thing because it's the same shit every night. It's what someone has to get to the next little detail that like will crack something up.
And things will pop up during the game too, like new revelations. So it's just being a coach is crazy.
Yeah, dude, they got to be all stressed out and shit.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. These are advanced chess moves at this point.
So, Anthony Davis, man, did you see?
God damn. And he yelled Kobe afterwards?
Yeah, full disclosure, I literally turned the game on. He caught the ball, hit the three. I turned it back off.
Oh,
that was it. I didn't watch any of the other shit, and it sounds like it was amazing. I feel like Jokic was like clutch as fuck and damn near won the game for them.
He did.
If it wasn't for that shot.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself, like, the Lakers are now up 2-0. They got to be, so if they if the Nuggets win the next game, they should also let the Nuggets win the game after that. You don't want the Nuggets to be down 3-1. You want to keep any number, like keep the 3-1 deficit not a thing at all, right? Just don't let that happen.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the Celtics can beat the Lakers in the finals?
Watching the Lakers now, I'm getting more and more scared of them as a team.
Yeah. I'm starting to think it's going to be difficult no matter which one of our teams is the one.
Yeah, because the Lakers, I think, are going to clearly beat the Nuggets, to be very honest. That's, there's a little...
After that shot, there's no turning back. That's like momentum shit, you know?
It is momentum shit. I mean, but then again, but there's, momentum has a way of changing for the Nuggets. So, who knows what can happen. But they ultimately, like I mentioned in the last podcast, the Lakers have LeBron. He knows these pressure situations. He knows how to perform. It would take some sort of haywire mistake for the Nuggets to really pull this series out. They're not going to get swept, I don't think, but I think it'll take some sort of a little bit of a miracle for them to win the series. That being said, though, I don't think the Celtics are intimidated or scared by the Lakers. They did beat them in the regular season and pretty handily, actually. However, this is playoff LeBron and more importantly, playoff Rondo. And so they're looking scary now. They're looking pretty scary. If Bam Adebayo is giving them fits, AD is going to absolutely dominate in the middle against the Celtics.
It's true.
So, which, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk strategy about how to beat the Lakers, but because it's, it's only 2-1, but still they're looking scary. And I know the Celtics, it's funny though, every time I get scared of a team, like Brad Stevens has a way of like, bringing that team back down to earth. Like somehow the Celtics just play them just right. So they don't look as intimidating. They miss a few shots and you're like, oh, okay, they're human, right? Like they're not a win machine. You know what I mean? They just, they're human. They make mistakes. They can lose. So I don't know about 4 games out of 7, but
yeah, we'll see.
What do you think? I mean, imagine the Heat going up against the Lakers. I think they would get, no offense, I think they get run off the court pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it would be. I don't think they would get run off the court, but I do think that I'm kind of looking forward to it as far as like all of the narratives at play.
Bam versus AD,
like, LeBron versus Pat Riley,
kind of
thing. But no, the Lakers are looking pretty scary. But I will say I'm going to close it out here on 2 points. I think the Nuggets, the Heat, and the Celtics are all better complete teams than the Lakers are. I think that's like fair to say.
Okay.
I think like up and down, like man for man, that all 3 of those teams are more complete than the Lakers, but just fucking Anthony Davis and LeBron are really good, like as just the 2 of them.
Yeah.
So like that's what it is. Like that's the type of shit that wins you a game like last night. The Nuggets did everything to really win that game, but Anthony Davis was like, nah.
Like, exactly.
That's not how it's gonna go down.
He's the greatest power forward in the league right now, basically.
Yeah, not everybody can do that. So that's like, I feel like that poses a threat to any team. Mm-hmm. So it's looking pretty scary. But and then my second point is to steal a quote from the Heat Beat podcast, that this is what Heat in 5 looks like.
Okay. So you guys are very confident about game 4, huh?
Yeah, and that's it, John. What you got? What say you?
No, I mean, you made two good points to end the podcast there. However, Celtics in 6 is still is an actual possibility. They could literally win 4 games in a row, and in a way, that's kind of a sweep if you think about it, right? Even though they lost the first 2, winning 4 in a row is basically sweeping the Heat. So
true.
Yeah.
True. It's sweepy. We'll see. Yeah, we're going for the gentleman sweep, and
okay.
I'll see you after Game 4. Could you imagine if Haslam gets a 4th ring before LeBron? LeBron's gonna be pissed.
Oh my God, he was pissed already about that MVP thing. By the way, I thought that was a little interesting. By the way, yeah.
But Haslam will be like so humble about it. It's all good. Don't worry, LeBron.
I saw old man Haslam on the sidelines, by the way, with that little gray in his beard, like talking to the guys. That's an interesting dynamic you guys got there. I have to say,
fantastic. It's fantastic. Don't forget that man's got 6 good fouls in him. If he needs to come out, he's still active.
Man, if he averaged 6 fouls a game, he's doing everything he can at age 40.
yeah. If it's an elimination game, he's coming out there and he's hitting somebody.
Oh, I would kill to see that.
But all right, John, I'll catch you after Game 4 and
Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll see. Pat Riley always would say that a series doesn't start until someone wins on the road.
Wow.
And since we're we're in this weird bubble world, and since every road, like whoever the quote unquote road team is, has won every night,
right?
I'm gonna say this doesn't really get popping until a fake home team wins at fake home.
Right. So if the Heat win tomorrow, then it's an interesting series, right? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, or that's when shit really starts cooking.
That's fair. Game 4 is typically the pivotal turning point in any series, no matter what the if both teams have won a game so far, then Game 4 is typically like a pivotal turning point. Like that's when a lot of guys will say, like, whoever wins Game 4 wins the series. That's what most coaches say. So, which is kind of interesting. I never heard that before, but so important Game 4, obviously. Celtics not wanting to be down 3-1. Celtics win and tie up the series. All the pressure is kind of on the Heat at that point. So,
yeah, it's like starting all over again. It's trash.
Basically, so, don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to close my eyes. I don't
want to fall asleep. Right.
And I'll miss you, all of you, until the next episode.
I don't want to miss a thing.
All right, catch you later.
Yep.
Pass it to the man and pass it to the other man. Pass it to the other man, lobbed in jam.